Alright guys, welcome to Let's Talk Battlefield episode 15. This episode is called, I think we called it The Russians Are Coming. It's a brand new thing here, and I welcome
IRL.
everybody in here. To get us started, of course, if you're a first-time viewer watching live, I welcome you guys. The live audience is right here with us. We also are on iTunes and we're on YouTube, so I welcome you guys to the recording, maybe watching this later on. And so let's get straight into introductions. With me, as always, I've got Izzy.
How's it going, guys? My name's Izzy. If you want to check out my YouTube channel, it's youtube.com/IzzyGoneCrazy. And quick apology, I had my wisdom teeth removed the other day, so I'm a little chubby, might not talk as much as normal, and that's why. Just
All right.
heads up.
We also got Mambo B.
Hi guys, Mambo here. Mambo on Twitch, Mambo_B if you want to come and get in some games. I don't want to talk about my motto because Izzy will bust my chops and say I sound like a recording. So come hang out.
Right.
You know where to find me.
All right. And I'm your boy Echo Limits. I'm the host of the show, EKOLIMITS, on Twitch.tv as well. All right, so as it is always customary, I'm going to run you guys through the topics of the day so you know what to expect. And we're going to get straight into it. And at the end, we're going to read off your emails because we do have an email to read. And we're also going to get into a live, I guess I call them chat sessions with the audience that's joining us, because there's always a question being raised by you guys. And the best part about this podcast is we get you involved and your voice is heard. And your opinions can hopefully spark some sort of discussion and make a change in Battlefield as we know it. So first topic of the day is going to be my Mambo, and he decided to say top 3 items in Battlefield 1 that still need adjustments or fixes. So there's always something that we need to discuss about fixing. The next topic is going to be by me, and it's what's your most prized gun skin in your collection and why. That's a very funny one. Izzy's topic of the day is what is the number one thing you want to see in the next Battlefield game? I think maybe most of you guys heard that there's a big announcement that EA in their, what was it called? Is that a briefing or something, guys? I think it was
Stockholder
some sort of a
thing.
stockholder call or something like that. And they kind of just said that they're working on a new Battlefield title, so that's exciting. We're going to talk about that in our last topic. And as you can see, Flakfire is not with us today. He's on vacation, and it's all right. We're going to hold it down just for him. So the episode might be a little shorter than what you're used to. All right, so without further ado, Mambo B, take us into the first topic of the day. Top 3 items in Battlefield 1 that still need adjustments and fixes.
Okay, so yeah, as you guys all well know, if you play Battlefield, there'll be times when I call it the randomness takes over and you can't control some of the things that happen in the game, but there is still some things that I feel could be adjusted on DICE's half to make the game a little bit more enjoyable. Maybe it's driven some veteran Battlefield players away. Maybe it's drawn in some other players, some other other genres or other games. But some of the things that I have noticed when I play Battlefield that still needs a little bit of work is one that since the new They Shall Not Pass DLC came out, I did notice some scoreboard things going on with like XP and it putting players, even though they don't get much energy into the match, end up being higher on the scoreboard than a team that rolls and gets a squad. I don't quite understand that, and I also think that a squad shouldn't be awarded to losing teams squads. I feel that should be a major factor of how the algorithm decides who's the A squad. And also I do feel that, I don't know if it's because of lack of guns, but the Hellregal just needs to be either nerfed, being less bullets, maybe 40 rounds, not 50, and or range, shorten the range a little bit. So that's some things that I could throw off the top of my head. Now I know maybe the spawns give you a little spawn window preview. That's some of the things I've thought about.
Just to get everybody's, to kind of chronicleize all of that, like from your top 3, what's number 1, 2, and 3 things that just like irk you about the game or you want to really see fixed, so we can have a discussion. Because you're throwing out a lot of stuff there, and I'm like, I agree. I just don't know 100% if that's exactly what we're going at right now.
Okay, number one, probably the scoreboard needs to be fixed on They Shall Not Pass. I don't know why.
Have you noticed that too, Izzy? Because that thing was kind of weird, right? Like the whole
Yeah.
grayed out.
It's been a little buggy.
Why do you think DICE did that?
I think it was a mistake.
You think? You know what?
I think it was a mistake.
It probably wasn't a purposeful thing. Because they did fix that recently. Have you seen that, Mambo? That they fixed it?
Well, I noticed it on the vanilla maps. It doesn't. There's no problem. But on the Thou Shall Not Pass,
because in They Shall
something's
Not
going on.
Pass, those grayed out people were people without premium. So when they did premium trials, those people were able to play the TSNP maps and game modes, but they weren't earning XP. So instead of being shown as 0 XP, they showed them XP they could have had, but somehow their XP was like astronomical. Like there were people with like 60k XP. And I was like, how in the world? Because I've been top leaderboarding, like you said. All of a sudden, they're grayed out and they're above me. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I dropped 100 people. You know?
Right. And the second thing
they
would
did
be,
fix that, though.
The second thing would be, I think the Hellregal needs a nerf, or the fact that they're going to be introducing more guns in the Russian DLC. It may wash that problem out. I don't know if it's because of lack of guns in Battlefield, that all I seem to die from is a Hellregal, or the fact that it is a little bit too overpowered. I mean, you should have to be forced to reload, in my opinion.
I don't know, you know, they've nerfed the Hellrigger once. Does anybody know exactly what nerf they gave it? Because I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat might help us. Or
I think they added more recoil and made it slightly less accurate, is what they did. I don't think they did like a damage reduction. I just think they made it less accurate and added a little more vertical recoil. Didn't change it much on PC, affected it more on console, but I really wouldn't say it's overpowered. I think you just see it a lot because there just aren't a ton of weapons in the game. So
that's what I'm thinking.
You can just notice the ones you get killed by over and over again because there's only a handful. Like in Battlefield 4, there was so many different weapons people had to choose from. You'll be killed by other weapons more often.
Yeah, but Battlefield 4 even had that issue where everybody kept running the AK, right? Or what was the other one that everybody run? Ace 23, you know?
M16A4.
Yeah.
My baby.
M16 was okay. I got good with it towards the end, but I don't know. At the same time, I know the Hellrigger is a problem. I just don't know how much can you nerf it, because I think if you nerf it more, it's supposed to be the level 10 gun. Like, how bad will it be after that?
Instead of nerfing that, they should just add in a bunch of new weapons.
Right.
Yeah,
that's what a lot of game devs do, right? They trump OP with more OP.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but then there's that whole problem about like, oh, if these new weapons are DLC only, then it's like, oh, pay to win, right? That's a fine line you don't want to walk.
That's like the current status of Battlefield, though. It's been like that for a while now.
You think so? It's pay to win?
No, I wouldn't say pay to win, but I would say that the community complains about one weapon, right? And in the next DLC, they introduce a bunch more that are better, and then people are like, oh, it was DLC only, so pay to win. But
dude, the best gun in Battlefield 4 was still the AR-160, and that was a DLC weapon.
I don't know.
That's my opinion, though. Not a lot of people share that.
AEK, man.
Well, that's why I say the Hellregal. Maybe it's because I'm just dying by it. That seems like the only thing that they can kill me with, and I kind of rant about it a little bit. Like, you couldn't kill me if you weren't using the Hellregal.
The Automatico.
Maybe reduce it to 40 bullets instead of 50.
I would say the Automatico has a sheer faster time to kill than the Hellregal.
Yeah, it does, but you burn through the bullets so fast it doesn't become an issue.
And its range is so limited. The one thing about the Hellrigger is if you tap fire it properly, it has like extreme range, and that's a little bit daunting there, you know. I guess I know what you mean. So that was your second one. What was your third one, Mambo?
Third one, what I would say, a preview window of when you're going to spawn. Now they do have this system that your buddy is under fire when you're going to spawn, but you sometimes still spawn on them, and then the enemy is right on them, and they're dead, like instant. And it's nothing you can control, but I feel like they could put a mechanic in that could help us. Like in Battlefield Hardline. I think in Hardline you could see your teammates a
You could
preview
in
window.
Battlefield 4 too.
Right.
It's
There was like a little camera, and
Yeah.
why do you think they
Like
took that
under
out?
the mini map.
Right? Remember that was a feature.
Mhm.
During the loadout screen, when you were about to load in, you can literally see what your friend Lee is doing. the
Yeah,
one
so
you're
you could
about to
see if there
spawn.
was a tank about to roll up on him or something. You'd be like, okay, not gonna spawn there.
right.
They
Something
removed
like
that.
that. I think they could incorporate. You know what I mean? So that's my
I like
three
that
things.
feature
It just
a lot.
That's one of those things is like that got removed from the series, like with the new installment of Battlefield 1, and it's just like I don't think anybody ever complained about it. You know, I think if you're gonna remove features, like as if I was a developer, if I was DICE and EA, I would just remove features people kind of disliked and didn't have. And I think they went in and they chopped a lot of features to get the game out when they did, and as stable as it was, it did have a stable launch. And I think those little things got the cut. I don't know. Let me tell you my top 3. All right. So number 1 for me, was aim assist on vehicles in Battlefield 1. I still to this day don't understand why is there aim assist on vehicles. Like the heavy tank is OP. It has
Thank
amazing
you. Yeah.
range. Like you shoot like one corner and like 5 feet away from him, the guy dies because of the explosive massiveness of the cannon or whatever. But why give that man aim assist, like snap on and slow down and all that? It should be absolutely nothing.
I'm in favor of just removing aim assist across the board. Like
Totally.
zero aim assist.
Yeah.
100%
I think there
gone.
needs to be aim assist. I think there does.
Oh.
It's a different kind of game than like Rainbow Six that doesn't have.
Yeah,
aim
but let
assist.
people aim for themselves.
Yeah, but you're aiming at
Or
little
maybe
pixels.
okay, then keep the slowdown, but get rid of the snap on.
Yeah, no, that I've
compromise.
always. I think the snap on isn't necessary. It's definitely overdone in Battlefield 1. Maybe if they scale it down for some of the people, and that'd be understandable. But for me, when I really think about this whole aim assist, is really just about the vehicles.
Yeah,
because the
and
vehicles,
it
they can
Definitely
take
shouldn't
damage.
be for vehicles. Like you're completely right. Having it for vehicles doesn't make sense. You're safe inside of this armored vehicle. You don't need that edge.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're already way more safe than you used to be because you can self-repair rather than going outside and repair, Second thing, since we're on a vehicle topic, the second thing I really, really think, and I've been playing a lot of operations lately, as I always love to do on my channel, and every time I play operations and the behemoths spawn, they start to get so wrecked it's not even funny. Like they no longer impact the game as it was intended. Like the blimp, forget the blimp. The blimp dies instantly. Like think about Monte Grappa, like how many AAs are around. And now that you can fix an anti-air, it just gets so wrecked so fast. So I think DICE, because they buffed the anti-air, like the gunner positions, I think what they need to do is go back and rework the way the behemoths work. Like I honestly think it wouldn't be a bad idea for the blimp, where the gunner positions are, that those gunner positions you cannot destroy. So you can always have a gunner to help your blimp get some defense on it. But, you can still snipe those guys out. Just you can't destroy the seat. You see what I'm saying? I don't know what you guys think about that.
Yeah, I would agree. Like when the game first launched, behemoths could be annoying at times because nobody would go after them, or there would be that one guy shooting at the behemoth. But now, as soon as that thing spawns, everybody immediately like turns all their attention to taking it out. But I don't really know if there's anything they can do about that, though.
I think they need to remove the whole like the blimp has way too many sweet spots to hit for extra damage. Like if you watch the blimp and it has like little black pieces on it, you keep hitting that'll do parts damaged. And I can do that in one run in like 2 minutes, do 4 of those, and take out half the health of the blimp by myself. Because they do massive damage. So,
you could remove some of the crit spots to help.
Yeah, like make it harder to critically hit it. And literally don't let the gunners be destroyed. Because then, sure, those people will die inside because they can get killed by AA Flakfire. And they can also get killed by snipers and maybe rocket sniping. But at least they're helping the blimp stay alive, get some defense on it. The only behemoth I think that's actually really, really powerful still is probably the Dreadnought, because there's no really good way to kill it. If you try to bring a plane into it, you know, it's got like 2 AA positions. Even if you try to bring a boat close to it, the AA positions can actually aim down far enough that the boats can get had. All you need is a decent, you know, AA second seat gunner guy. I don't know what you call those dudes. But the train also needs some reworking. I mean, you can knock the train out no problem with a couple of tanks on a hill far, far, far away, you know? So that was my number 2. And number 3, gas grenades. Please, please. Can we have gas grenades be fixed? I'm tired of going in bunkers and standing on top of the bunker. Like a couple of maps that come to mind, like Argonne Forest, you know, or like any of those, like you have like I don't know, like room inside and then you're on top. And the gas grenades go through walls, like solid walls. That needs to be addressed in Battlefield 1.
It does it with fog too. Have you noticed? Like if it's foggy on the map, the fog will be like inside the buildings too. Like when the fog weather effect rolls in.
You know what? I never really considered that.
But that's not how fog works. It's not going to be inside the building, like it is outside.
Are you sure that's not how fog works?
I think
Imagine that's intended. That's intended. You know, we're having grieving of our air, like grieving our like, you know, our problems here. But Izzy, I want to hear your top 3.
All right, my top 3. Well, you kind of stole one with aim assist on vehicles. I was gonna mention that, but it bugs me.
We can have the same, you know.
I think we've talked about this before, and I thought about it, and I was like, you know, this shouldn't be part of the game. But I think still airplane balance to me, it doesn't seem right at all. I think air vehicles are way too dominant. There needs to be a hard counter to air vehicles more than just the AA turrets. There's a lot of times, let's say there's only one AA turret in the area, there'll be someone on it who's, you know, shooting at infantry or not shooting at the planes. There's no real way to take out air vehicles right now unless you happen to have, you know, another pilot. But infantry should also be able to counter air vehicles, because I'll jump on my anti-tank gun and I'll hit the airplanes with the anti-tank gun and it does like 20 damage. Or I'll hit the airplane with a tank, it does like 30 damage, and the airplane keeps on going. Like, what? If this was any other Battlefield game, that airplane would be little pieces right now. It takes some skill to hit a moving airplane with one shot from a tank or from an AT gun. I still think they need to be able to be one hit killed by tanks and by AT guns, just to add, I don't know, a little bit more balance, because they have no fear. They just strafe infantry all day. They come right down to the ground and they take off again. And they do it over and over again because they know nothing's going to take them out. They just feel invulnerable. And it just, it bugs me. Because if this was like Battlefield 3 or 4, someone would just pull out that RPG and hit him out of the air in one hit. So it gave...
Yeah, but it was harder to hit a plane or a chopper in Battlefield 4 with an RPG. You really feel like I did something good there, you know? Because there's no aim assist. So if you had to time them, okay, they're going to be here. You think of your trajectory of your rocket, and then boom, you hit them. So that was a good feeling. You don't have that in Battlefield 1, really. So if you get rid of the aim assist, then okay.
Yeah, but you were also rewarded, like Izzy said, the AT. When you set up that AT and you shoot a plane, I've seen it done. I've shot a plane before. You just get 20 damage. That's no reward, because that guy's gonna fly up and rep it like that,
and then he's gonna turn right back around and strafe you again. And that was the other thing I wanted to mention. I just it bugs me so much how the driver of the vehicle can repair without getting out of the vehicle. I still think it's broken, and I don't like it. I think the tank driver or the helicopter or the plane driver should have to get out and fix manually and then get back in, instead of doing it while flying or while driving. That just doesn't make sense, either from a gameplay standpoint or from a technical standpoint. Like, you can't fix a broken wing while you're in the cockpit of a plane while flying it. Yeah, that just doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, even Battlefield 4, they went back and they took that out. Remember when the little bird could be fixed from the inside?
Mm-hmm. They removed
by
it.
Some people, they removed that, right? Or did they nerf it? I don't remember which one.
They removed it.
They removed it altogether, right?
Yeah. And I was fine with that because it was broken.
Yeah, dude, you used to have 2 people repping. All you would see is just a little bird and a bunch of sparks coming out, you know, because they're repping it. And he's just annihilating people all over the map. Self-repair, fixes, blueberries, stealing your tank. Bloodhound. This Bloodhound in the chat, he's saying self-repair fixes Blueberry stealing the
Okay,
tank.
I could see that. I mean, I've had people steal my horse when I get off to give myself health. I'm like, hey, you took my horse. I got a horse jack.
But I know in Battlefield 4, right? Like, if I was hurting a tank, this was like a tactic. I would hurt a tank. I would wait for him to run away and jump out to repair, then I'd kill him and steal his tank. And you can't do that in Battlefield 1 because no one's ever going to jump out of their tank to repair.
This is true.
So you would have to make sure you were in a really good spot before you started repairing your tank. Otherwise, you were going to die, and then, you know, the other team was going to have your tank.
Yeah, but, you know, like Coot and Bloodhound did say, like, you think a good spot is like, oh, this is my friendly base, you know, it's fine. Then you get some guy like, oh, free tank, and that guy's
Okay,
repping
well,
it, you know? It's
yeah.
that's something that DICE, I don't think, can remove. I mean, you don't really have... I mean, as much as we like to say the tank is mine, you know, the plane is mine, it's never yours, you know?
That's
You're playing
true.
a game with like 64 people, you know, 32 of them are your teammates, and the tank is your team's. If you get that, you know, infinite wisdom dude on your squad who decides to grab the driver's seat because you got in the gunner because you got to do something, all of a sudden now he's driving it.
Well, they could put a cooldown on it. They could say your driver's seat is reserved as long as you're repairing it within a 5-second window.
I like
that
that.
way
I
they
like
can't
that.
take your tank. You know, you jump out, you're repairing your tank. Your tank can't be taken unless you die or you stop repairing for over 5 seconds.
That's
That's a
interesting.
good idea.
Or altogether, like, you know how you spawn as a tanker? Now there's a tanker class. In order to drive the tank, you have to be the tanker class. Because
would be good
you
too.
don't know how to drive the tank. Think about it. I mean, World War I, do you think any foot soldier would run up to a tank and be like,
No,
yeah,
they had
I'll
to
pull
have
this
training.
lever and pull that?
Right.
I don't think so. You could do that too. I mean,
Okay.
this is solutions so that your own team wouldn't steal the tank. Now, gameplay-wise, I think that's the part where DICE has to, like, bend these rules about, like, is it fun, you know? I don't know. I mean, chat, I mean, this is an interesting thing to ask people in the chat, really. Would that be okay? You know, like tanker only drives, or the tanker, if you leave your vehicle, you know, you have 30 seconds to get back in it before someone else can steal it. I think both of those solutions seem interesting.
Or
Right.
they need to be in your squad. Because I know a lot of times
Yeah,
in,
but
like,
you'll get that squad mate, man. I'm
well,
telling you.
in Battlefield 4, I'd be like, here, drive. I'm going to jump out and repair because I had the torch. So I'd be like, here, you drive and let me repair, and then we'll switch.
Oh, you won't be able to do the switcheroo.
Yeah. So
Hey,
maybe if they're like in your
that
squad.
means your squad mate should have been running the reps, not you. You know what? Like any solution in Battlefield that like leads towards team play and like focused, you know, predetermined team play, I like. I don't like the whole like just, you know, one kid does it all, or like kind of like anyone could drive a tank thing. You know, I think that might be very interesting to be on a battlefield.
No, you're right.
Yeah, but then again, the horse thief, I don't know, Mambo, anyone could technically ride a horse, right?
I don't know. Those things are pretty hard to ride.
I rode a horse once. I mean, I just sat there and the guy did whatever.
Last time I did it, it threw me off and then it bit me, okay?
Oh, snap. No way.
It did not like me.
Then again, I was on like this little tour thing where they were all tied up. He just sat on it and he just went. I didn't tell my horse anything. Oh, man. Awesome discussion, guys. I think we're ready to slide on over, Mambo, if you think we got an interesting conversation out of that.
Yeah, I think if DICE is listening right now, then I think they definitely got some ideas on improving the game out of our conversation.
The ways of how to like prevent people from stealing tanks, that's very interesting. I hope they were listening to that.
Right, we try to be constructive and not negative, you know, and that's, nobody's going to listen to you if you just rant at them. But if you come up with, say, hey, this is a legit thing, I'm still playing your game, this stuff needs to be addressed. This can make the game better.
And not just that, the solutions need to be simple solutions, because the game's already made. You can't expect DICE to overhaul the whole thing. I suspect the reason that they haven't fixed the gas grenades is because they would have to overhaul a lot of stuff. And even though it's one of my like pet peeves right now, and in my top 3 things that need fixing, I guess we're gonna have to live with that, because I really suspect that that's something that on the ground floor they would have to have designed and then built the game up for. I don't know. It seems a little difficult. But let's jump into the next topic of the podcast. It is, what's your most prized gun skin and why? Gentlemen, I want to know, do you have some good skin collections in Battlefield?
I do. My number one most prized skin is the Doughboy skin for the M1911. It came with the collector's edition of Battlefield 1, like the super expensive fancy one that no one has. So I have like one of the rarest skins in the game, and I love it.
Dude, I share that sentiment too. It's not my favorite skin, but I was so proud, and like it was such an awesome thing for DICE to give me that. It was crazy. Mambo, what about you?
Yeah, I love the all gold skins on my guns, the bright gold. I run it on my bar. I run it on my M1903 pistol. I run it on the Bulldog pistol. You know, I love gold.
So you just all decked out in gold on the battlefield?
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? All right, so the reason I wanted to pose this question to you guys is because recently with the whole YouTubers getting a chance to get their own revisions, there was a revision by Wiso Sarah, right? And in it they had a saber and they had the M1 911 pistol that was a super rare. First time they had a super rare pistol, or just super rare gun, I think, at all, right? And I really wanted a super rare. So like, I've never bought battle packs in my life, and I went and I bought battle packs, guys. And yo, it was like the worst battle pack opening ever. I'm telling you, like, there's the one skin, the La Tigre. Listen, the La Tigre for the RSC is a great looking skin, but I got it 5 times in a row from 5 different superior battle packs. Not even like, oh, I got lucky just getting like, you know, crap battle packs, and then I got lucky and I got legendaries. I opened up 5 superiors, all La Tigres. Yeah. Either I'm like the most unique person in the world, or it's just straight up like, this is craziness. But aside from that, I didn't get the M1911. I really wanted it. But I did get the saber. And I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm running around chopping people with a sword now.
I'm pretty jealous. I really wanted the saber too.
Yo, the saber was pretty cool.
Oh, dude, it looks so good.
I got the saber.
I
want that Kirky knife. I got one more puzzle piece for Kirky.
That's it? Did you get the other one? Because I don't have the bill hook or the cuckoo.
Yeah, I've been using the bill hook a while. It opens them up like a can opener. I love it.
Really? Yo,
yeah, you can open them.
Do you guys, like, how common is it? Like, in the chat, I want to know too, because I have the hardest time getting puzzle pieces. And I don't know why.
No, it's not just you. It's me too, man.
I always get XP boosts.
Right.
And so
I saved up my scraps. I spent 5,000 scraps on one puzzle piece for that bill hook, and I got one more left. I have to wait till it's in.
Yo, Mambo, why didn't you just buy like 5 superior packs? You probably would have gotten a puzzle piece out of that.
No, I did. I tried. I wasn't getting anything, so forget it. They got it in the offer for scraps for 5,000. I'll just save my scraps, and I got one piece. I guaranteed myself one piece.
5,000 scraps. How long did that take?
It took like a week. Yeah.
That's not that much then.
No, but yeah, it was a sacrifice because they have it on a timer, right? They only give you like a 4-day window.
That's exactly why I spent money. I think they did that on purpose. I think they just straight got me. And the worst part was, I was like, oh, the Wiso Sarah had the saber, right? And I'm like, yo, I gotta get the saber. We gotta do this. I tried like grinding packs. It didn't work. I tried to do the whole thing. It didn't work. So I'm like, yo, I'll throw some money at it. Let's just see what happens, right? And I got it, and I was like, okay, thank God, right? But that was the second time I paid. I paid twice, guys. I'm like, it was like, I was like either, I don't know what I was thinking, but I put like $60 towards battle packs, and I finally got the saber. I was like, wow. Now I'm gonna rock the saber all day, every day. That's it. I'm running around with that thing. But nonetheless, I still didn't get the super rare. Do any of you guys have super rare skins?
I still haven't gotten one.
Nothing.
I don't know. I have to look. I got a lot of legendaries. I don't know about.
And I've opened a lot of battle packs.
Yo, I got one super rare, and it's for the artillery truck, and I hate the artillery truck with a passion.
Yeah, because they're usually
Really?
campers that use it. Yeah.
Yeah, man, artillery truck, you just
Got a
camp
bad
on
rap.
the side. You're like the mobile AA user of Battlefield 4. Remember those guys?
Oh, dude, that was.
That's called base camping.
Yeah, they could have easily made them get out of their base to fix that problem, but
Yeah, Thunderstruck
we won't
4K.
go there.
How much do they Superior Battle Packs cost? Superior Battle Packs, you cannot buy them. You have to use 900 scraps. You can purchase regular Battle Packs for real money. So I think I spent $30 or something like that for 20 Battle Packs, and then from there, I scrapped all the other stuff that I didn't need, and I got some for Superior Packs, and I got a bunch of Superior Packs from that, and that's how I got my puzzle piece. So yeah. The Desert Gold fiasco. Yeah, Bloodhound, that was crazy. So, they always have a super rare, but my thing about it too is like I didn't like the super rare I got. But you guys know if you go to scrap your legendary, right? It's 270 scraps, right? And if you scrap your super rare, it's the same amount.
What? I didn't know that. That's
It's-
lame.
It seems pretty dumb, right?
It should be double at least.
Please, it should be like 1,000 scrap for that.
How do
Yes,
you
it's-
know if you get the same amount with a super rare?
Because you can see it. Once you have it, it'll give you the option of scrap it if you want
Oh,
to.
okay. I was
And
about
it
to say,
gave me
you
the
scrapped a
option-
super rare?
No.
Oh, okay.
I still kept it, even though it didn't even look like a great super rare. But at the same time, I'm thinking like, yo, if it's so difficult to get, why doesn't DICE make it worth like 2,000 scrap or something?
True.
I mean, in the chat, I'm scanning through just to see if people even got super rare, and everyone's saying like no super rare here, no super rare here. I don't see anybody who has gotten any like good super rares. Does anybody have that pistol? Because that pistol looks cool. Did you guys get a chance to see it?
I've seen it, but I've
So-
never seen anyone use it.
It's like all black and gold. It's really cool.
Looks really cool. Yeah, see, they add these cool skins, but then no one ever gets a chance to get them. I wish it told you like your actual chance of getting that skin out of the pack, like your
Is that
percentage of
super
getting
rare
it.
pistol still in the battle pack system right now? No?
Nah, right now they had the Stone Mountain, unless that's finished, and Stone Mountain had the gold tank, which I had somebody join me on a stream, and they had the gold tank, and they were playing in it, and so I was able to go up to it and see it and stuff, and it's pretty cool. It was like all red stripes and gold. I mean, Mambo, that's all up your alley, man. I think you'd
I
be
don't play the tank.
No, but you love gold.
Oh, yeah. I want the baby tank on gold. That's what I want. I like the baby tank.
You see how this is just like Mambo's reaction was like to showcase how divided the community is. You tell a person who's an FPS like boots on the ground guy, it's like, yo, you love tanks. It's like, I don't play the tank. Like that's it.
That's my last thing I got to get to rank 50 is the tank. Everything
Yo,
else,
did you do the horse?
I'm done with everything except the tank.
That's incredible. I'm trying to get where you are at. I was just working on the
Cheese.
horse and all the other stuff. But wow, tank cheese, right? All right. I mean, do we have any other thoughts on? Did you guys say which ones you really want? Like from the skins, like what is that one you're like, man? I know, Izzy, you want the saber as well.
I really would. Does that count as a skin though? It's like a knife.
Technically is, because it is,
Then I want
it
the
is in a
saber.
battle pack.
I want that saber so bad. I think it's the coolest looking melee in the game right now.
Yep, I agree. When I got it, I was super stoked. I was running around just using it.
Yeah, they need some melees like they got in For Honor where you like stick it in their neck and pull it back out looking at it or something like that. Would be really nice.
Dude, what if
Up
they
the-
gave you like a javelin to walk around with?
Well,
But could I throw it though?
well, that's going to be the Russian DLC with the staff, you know? You could throw it and stick it in them. That would be nice.
I think you could just poke them, and it only on horseback.
Yeah.
When will we ever
me-
have like projectile melees? That'll be interesting.
Hardline, we did. Throwing knives.
I didn't play Hardline once they gave throw knives, probably.
They were really fun actually. It was awesome.
Oh. All right, I think we're ready to move on to our last topic of the day, and before we jump into listener mail and then live questions from the audience. So if you're itching to ask us a question, maybe we didn't get to right now during our little discussions, make sure you save it towards the end. So the last topic is by Izzy, and with all the news about the Battlefield 1, Battlefield, new game being developed, Izzy's question is, what is the number one thing you want to see in the next Battlefield game? Number one. Izzy, why do you want to talk about that?
So, number one thing we want to see in the next Battlefield game. I left this one pretty open in general, just because everyone kind of has their own thing they would like to see. But I think this one should be fun because there's a lot they could do with the next Battlefield game. A lot they could bring in from old Battlefield games and new stuff entirely. So this one should be interesting. Echo, you want to start things off?
Sure. I have this number one thing, and might be a little different than most people. I want them to return to 5-kit setup. I know we have the tanker right now, but put that aside. I want 5 kits because a squad is made up of 5 people these days. But you have assault, you have medic, you have sniper, you have support. That's really all you have. And then it's just like that extra dude who's already taken up a spot with one of your other ones. I want a return to what Bad Company 1 was like, where there were 5 kits. In Bad Company 1, we had the assault, we had the engineer,
medic.
we had we had engineer, we had sniper, we had support, and we had special ops.
Oh, that's right.
Special ops. And I loved that dynamic. I really did. And I would love for them to return with that.
That's right. I totally forgot about that. That's not a bad idea.
I really, one of the things I hated about Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3 is when they removed that, now they had like a whole kit of carbines and they just let anybody use carbines. So I like the thing about Battlefield 1 I like is that the classes are very specific. There aren't guns that you can take from one class to the other. I don't like running up to a sniper and being like, I bet you he's got a sniper rifle. I'm good. I can maneuver this way. All of a sudden, SMGs me. And I'm like, oh, great. How was I supposed to know?
I didn't mind that too much.
I like that whole, like, everybody's got a purpose and it's less of a, you can create this one general kit that can be good at almost anything, kind of,
Yeah,
And-
no, I know where you're coming from. It does make sense from like a gameplay team balance standpoint, for sure.
And we
Like,
have
I think it'd be easier to balance the game that way.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. And I mean, Almighty Ben says like Battlefield in the past even had more kits than that. He says 7 classes back in the day. But that was on the Refractor engine, right? Back in Battlefield 2 days. And
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
I think that would be too much. I don't think that would work nowadays. But
Yeah,
I
you
think
don't need
5 kits.
5
and then,
seems right.
And then a vehicle driving kit. I would love to. I don't know. Do you guys really think that they should keep the vehicle driving kit even if they go future?
Necessary. I don't know if it's really necessary to have its own special kit. I mean, I don't hate the idea, but I don't know if it's like a must.
I just think that was DICE's answer to like making sure that vehicle users aren't OP. Because they're already in a vehicle and they can do so much, take so much damage, and all this other stuff. So when they exit that vehicle, because of some reason, they shouldn't be able to get out of any situation. All of a sudden get you with like a machine gun or something. Like they should be like a little bit
I guess
less-
a jet pilot really wouldn't be carrying around a big light machine gun, would they? Yeah. They would have their whatever handgun or something.
Survival guns. Yeah, the little guns.
Right, that does make sense. So that was my thing. I don't know in the chat if you guys agree with me or not, and maybe you guys, Mambo and Izzy.
I like that
I would
idea.
like to see 5 kids.
I think it
Fair
would work
enough.
well too, because you mentioned there's 5 people per squad, so you could have one kit per squad mate.
I think that would be awesome.
I like it. Mambo, what about you?
Well, I think they're probably going to answer my question when they release the next Battlefield, and that's something that's a little more modern, but not totally modern. So I'm hoping to have the ability for attachments on the weapons. It doesn't have to go all the way to modern times, but that golden era of video FPS, the Vietnam era. I know Call of Duty's going World War II. I'm thinking let's shoot between World War II and Vietnam. Let's go Korean War. It's not been covered. Battlefield Bad Company 3, Korean War with attachments, and I'm happy. That's me.
Now, how far do you want these attachments to go? How deep?
Well, they didn't have
you
laser
seen
sights.
have you seen
And-
footage from
and-
like Escape from Tarkov or something, how you can really customize those weapons. Have you ever seen that?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like maybe ammo style, clip mag sizes, Picatinny rails or some kind of railing for
some nice
grips.
quad rails.
Right. Different scope attachments you could change on the gun. Paints, you're customizing your paints and stuff. You can customize your paints. But barrels and butt stocks and stuff like that. So I think that could have brought a lot of replay value to Battlefield 1 if they would have just put a few things in, like some customizable butt stocks to help increase recoil but more damage, but then less recoil, less damage, stuff like that would have made more replay value. Like, oh, I want that gun, but I need an extended butt stock with cheek pad or something that could help you snipe better. I don't know, something that could have brought some replay.
You played Medal of Honor, right? Like Warfighter?
Yeah,
like how much weapon customization they had in that game? That would be awesome in Battlefield.
I never played that.
I loved it.
They had almost more weapon customization in that game than I've ever seen for any other shooter. You could do different barrels and ammo types and mags and butt stocks and optics, and you could all have them differently colored, and it was really cool. Super in-depth.
Yep.
It added a ton of replay value.
I mean,
right. I think that's where the Battlefield community is kind of like, okay, we went back in time. That's cool and all, but now I don't have this replay value. And one of the things that I think brings replay value is attachments. So that's where I want to go with it.
So like Battlefield 1, I know that DICE looked at it and said we're kind of limited in the amount of weapons we had options, but I think they could have done like customization in the aspect of like, I'm sure these soldiers out there in the war front, they probably did things to their guns to make them more comfortable to use or better to use. Yeah. Small things like maybe they were too much in the trenches and they sawed off the first part of their gun to make it shorter. I don't know.
Or they would take their weapon and they'd wrap it in a t-shirt or something to blend in. They'd wrap it in vines or whatever to blend in. Or they'd, sometimes they would rub mud on it if they're in the trenches so it wasn't shiny. It wouldn't stick out. There was a lot of stuff they would do.
Right.
And then, those kind of little things could have been like actual statistical differences in weapons, and we could have had an attachment system. I don't know. They did. I never liked the fact that they did the whole 3 different variations.
I really dislike that, actually.
Yeah,
I would much rather have had the option to put it on or take it off myself instead of being locked into their 3 choices. Also, it's almost like they did that on purpose to artificially boost the amount of weapons they had in the game, because they count each one of those different variants as a different gun, which I always thought was lame.
Sometimes they're like, they warrant the change. For instance, like if you look at like the very different ones, like when you look at the MP18, right? You have the trench, you have the optical, but then you have the experimental. And the experimental is far enough different from the way the MP18, the submachine gun, works, that the experimental is like a burst fire weapon. So I was like, okay, that'd be enough. Or you look at the experimental sniper rifle, the one that's, it snipes and then it just tap fires. So that's like enough to kind of warrant like, okay, this is a different kind of a thing. But most of the weapons, like Izzy said, they basically behave the same. It's just, couple of statistical differences. Yeah. I don't know.
They could have easily said, let me attach a bipod to my gun as an attachment. Let me unlock
Exactly. Yeah. And if they didn't want to go crazy overboard, they could have limited you to like 1 attachment per weapon or something. Like you can either have the red dot or you can have the foregrip.
A drum mag. Don't give me a drum mag. Let me unlock it. Let me put it on. But it makes your gun have more recoil. You could do balances like that or it reduces the recoil because of the weight. Something.
You have the Hellrigger, and it is very popular because it's very good. I don't know if it's OP, but it's just because like I think it is, as he said, it's just not a lot of options. But I know the Hellrigger also had like a straight magazine, right? Back in the day. And it did. So like imagine you did that, like what Mambo said, like, this is your gun. And if you put on the barrel, then with the straight magazine you had better accuracy, but with the barrel you have less. You could have done stuff like that, and I think it was an opportunity DICE did miss. But unfortunately, I think it's also at that same part where they're not going to go back and change it anymore. You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
I don't know how much they can do anymore now that the game's out like that, the way it is out. One thing that just bothers me about it is like you earn kills for your guns, and if I got 10,000 kills with the B'nai Messiah Storm, right? But that doesn't count your kills for the telescopic or the optical version. I'm like, it's the same gun, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah, that too.
We're a little stupid, you know. Like you got 100 service star. I mean, I'm weird. I tried 100 service star guns, and I'm not gonna 100 service star 3 different variations.
No.
I'm just gonna pick my favorite variation and go with it.
Take way too much time.
Yeah.
But okay. Mine was for the next Battlefield game, I want full character customization, like real character customization, down to the face mechanics and hairstyles and colors and clothes and boots and stuff. Keep it realistic, you know, no clown masks or, you know, pink hair or anything, but real customization. Let your character feel like your own. And then do cool cosmetic stuff. I don't know, special mustaches or special pairs of sunglasses, you know, something small but rewarding. I think that could add a lot to the next game. And it's something we've never seen in a Battlefield game before. We've never
Ghost
had
Recon
true
Wildlands
customization.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah. I mean, soldier customization goes a long way to making the game feel more personal, giving you a real connection to who you're playing as.
Right.
You can make it feel like your own. And you could even do a different soldier for each class. You could have a different recon player, a different support player, and so on, and tailor them to that style, how you want to play that character. I think that could be really fun. Just to keep it entertaining. Also, they could add more content that way too with cosmetic stuff, special jackets or boots or whatever. Like I said, nothing.
Voice differences. Wow.
Nothing too crazy. You know, no pink fuzzy sweaters or anything. All right, let's keep it somewhat realistic, but there's still a lot they could do there while keeping it true to the whatever era the game's set in.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
That's
to
a good
me.
idea.
All right. All right. So let's jump into the next part, and before we jump into the live session for you guys, I'll just remind you, if you're watching live right now, of course, as we went through our topics, hopefully you enjoyed the discussion and were able to give us some thoughts on it. Think about your questions, and any question that you have. If you want to ask a specific cast member here, you can put at Izzy or at Mambo or at Ecolimits. If you're gonna ask all of us, put at crew, so you can prep your questions now. We did receive an email, and I'm gonna remind you guys, if you're watching live right now, you want to send us an email, or you're watching the recording on YouTube or iTunes, the email is the Let's Talk Podcast @gmail.com. So that's the Let's Talk Podcast. And our email is from Marcis Latis. Hopefully I got that right. So, and it reads, this is kind of my opinion and question at the same time. I don't agree that the content has to be for free. And what he's talking about is our discussion about getting more free content in Battlefield and the whole premium paywall. So he doesn't believe that it needs to be free. I would rather play more content than less content, and people will go away anyways, since I think people have been bored of FPS games like BF or COD. For examples like World of Warcraft, one expansion takes more than a year and costs way more than premium, plus people have to pay for the game each month and play the same content for a long time. I think it is the community issue that people are too greedy for content where they won't play it long anyway. BF4 free DLC giveaway was good, but it died fast anyway. What's your opinion on this? So Marcis, we'll all go around and kind of give you what we think. I think you asked all of us. Let me just start things off by saying, I don't know, you know, I mean, it's weird that games like World of Warcraft charge you monthly fees to play them. I think that's too much. I don't know. I wouldn't play Battlefield if I had to pay a monthly fee. It just feels like a lot.
No.
Maybe you enjoyed that, you know, and maybe there's something to it. I didn't play World of Warcraft, so I can't comment on it. But when it comes to premium, I haven't had the problem of paying premium for a main title Battlefield game. The only problem I come into is if that dies off. Like, I paid it for Hardline, and I felt like I got burned. Because towards the end, when the last 2 DLCs came out, I hopped on. If I didn't hop on that week to play it, then I couldn't play it at all. And I don't like that experience. I don't know what that says about the community, though. You might be onto something there. Anybody else want to chime in?
Per month, I know to a lot of people now that seems a little out there, but let's say you pay $10 a month for access, right? And you get all the features and everything for the game. Let's say you play it for a year. You're going to spend $120. You're easily going to drop that much if you buy, Battlefield and Premium, if not more than $120. And the thing about paying per month is, maybe that's $10 every month, but 1 month, what if you don't play? Then you don't have to pay for it. So you're really only paying for when you're going to play the game. So I actually don't mind that system. Now, for some people,
World of Warcraft charges you for the game, charges you for expansion, and charges you to play online, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what you're saying is what if you didn't get charged? You just got charged for how much you play, right? So the game would
whatever
be free,
per month.
and DLCs would be free, except your access to it, you have to pay a monthly fee.
It costs X amount per month. Yeah.
It still puts people behind a paywall, and they won't join you, on the DLC stuff. So,
Not if it's all released for free.
Not if it's all released for free, and if you only pay, like, say you got your month pass and you pay for that month, I don't know, you can play all you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I never thought of that. Because
I'd
it
be
would
okay with
equal
that.
what? It would equal. Monthly? That'd be a lot of money a year.
$120 or so. I mean,
what if they made it $5 a month? Then it'd be $60.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, I love Battlefield. I would. Yeah, I mean, when you look at the whole year thing, it seems like a whole perspective. $100-something a year to play a game. I don't know. Call of Duty already does this anyway.
I do it for Siege. I've spent like $300 in Siege.
How?
Passes and all the cosmetic stuff.
Oh, I don't feel bad about my $60 now. I felt like, oh man, I spent $60 on battle bags to get a saber. Holy smokes, $300 on Siege. I mean, I did get their season passes both times.
Mm-hmm.
And I did buy the game for $60 back in the day, which was a lot to pay for that game.
Right. I mean, if you look at the CS:GO model where they charge you for knives and skins and weapons, they make a lot more money doing that.
Oh, tons more.
Yeah.
Microtransactions always make more money.
Yeah. But it doesn't affect the game, the base game though, right? The guns, the main ARs in CS:GO are there. It's just you're getting knives and skins. Yeah.
Yeah, but to get back to the root of the question Marcy's posed to us, is the community, like Coop put it down in the chat, he said community will shrink over time. Is the community shrinking over time because of the paywall, or is it simply because they're less interested over time?
I wouldn't say it's I think part of it might be because of the paywall, and part of it is because you lose interest over time, right?
So it's a combination
I think
of
that
both.
interest would stay longer if there wasn't a paywall. But I think with any game, the longer it's out, the less people are going to play, just because new stuff comes out and you want to play what's newer, or you just lose interest because you've played it for a long time.
Right.
I think it's inevitable.
I think any game that wants to see its player base grow has to focus on bringing new people in, because inevitably people will get bored, and you just have to work on getting people in.
Content, like new content, frequently.
Yeah, and the barrier entry really is new content, and the barrier entry has to be low. Like the games that are successfully growing their fan base from what they started, their barrier entry is small, and the content is constantly free.
Yeah, look at Rocket League or Counter-Strike.
Barrier entry is tiny.
Mm-hmm.
A thing that I've been playing this Fortnite game that they do is they sell schematics, and then you get the schematics and make your weapons. So that could be something they should have introduced with Battlefield 1 with the War Bond system, to buy enough materials to make from the schematic your gun. And after time, your gun degrades and wears out, and your gun gets less accurate over time. And then it degrades to the point where you just need to throw it away. You gotta redo another gun. That could have been something that would have been better. You can buy schematics to make a new gun, so I think that would have been cool too.
Didn't Call of Duty do something like this where you can have a better gun from their drops or something? Like you have a version of the gun, but there's a better version of it and a lesser version, but it wasn't more like if you used it too much, it would break. It was like, I think they had their boxes. I don't know what Call of Duty boxes are called.
Loot crates,
supply drops.
Supply drops. And something about that, right? Where you can get a legendary version of like an AK and it would have like better stats or something. I don't know about that though. I mean, it's tough because if that system is, too I don't know, favoring, purchasing these things and get like you can buy these, it's very pay to win. And I don't know if that's like a good thing for the community, Pay to win is something that most people would be like, I don't know if I like that.
As long as you can unlock it over time, rather than, the people that play it a lot get it anyways. And the people that, don't have time, I don't want to spend 100 hours grinding to get that gun. They're going to go ahead and buy it. It's kind of the same thing you did with the Saber, right? I'm not going to spend all the time to get all these scraps to get the Saber. Let me just go ahead and do it now.
What pushed me over with the Saber is because the battle pack revisions are timed. And I'm like, when's the next time we're going to have the ability to get the Saber? And if you don't get it now, and that's why I was like, oh, let me just get it. All right, I really want this. I love this game. I play it all the time. Might as well have the fun knife that I want, right? I'm pretty sure that's why, Izzy, you bought the customizations. You love the games you play, and you're just like, yo, I wanna play. But guess what? Like the next revision was Stone Mountain, and it was a Saber again. They got me. All right, that was a great question. So let's move on to unless Izzy, you want to add something to that. I think I
think we covered it pretty well.
Thank you so much for sending us that email. It's always great to start off the question segment with an email from you guys. So if you're watching the recording and you want your opinion heard, send that email over to the Let's Talk Podcast at gmail.com. That's awesome. So we're going to open it up to the chat. We have a few minutes to do a what I like to call a chat session with you guys watching live this recording. So if there was something you found interesting in the discussion, or you have something to say, now's your chance to ask any of us anything in a way. Oh, we didn't even talk about the Russian stuff with the CTE reveals.
Right. Well, somebody mentioned it in the stream that they think the Russian Empire should have been originally included. You want most what you can't have, right? If they would have included it, we'd been like, it's just a part of the game. But now that we can't have it, we want it more.
Yeah, I think they did that. I think they did it on purpose. So we got a first question by Hamza21081996. I don't know, man. That sounds like your birthday there, buddy. You don't want to put that in there on the internet. Crew, hi guys. You think there will ever be a 100 versus 100 server on BF franchise?
Like MAG.
I like that game. I don't know how many people played it, but I loved that game.
When I played that game on PS3, it was lagging.
It didn't lag for me. Dude, I loved it.
Yeah, a lot of people loved it. I didn't get a chance to play it.
Do you think they'll go 100 versus 100?
I hope so.
That'd have to be a bigger map then.
Yo, it would have to. Or the game mode would have to be much bigger.
Cram us all into one kitchen.
No.
We don't always spawn and throw grenades. I'm just kidding.
Oh my.
Yeah. You know how many grenades would come in? Put lockers, and your solution would be one more pathway, like what they did with Metro.
Yeah.
Remember how Metro was spammy, but then it would one more, and then it's still spammy.
Imagine 100-man flank though. Just think about that.
It'll be like freaking Stalingrad, where it was just like guys running, you just like next, and they're all dying in front of you. You're just running. It'll just be a meat grinder for real. Crazy.
Like Neville Knights, where the entire team moves from one objective to the other. He's like, whoa, I just came up against 30 guys.
I just watched a Westy video, and even he talked about that. That's a problem on Novell Nights. I don't know what the mentality of that game, like that map is, but people crowd and they swarm. And there's always like 1 or 2 guys trying to defend, and there's like 15 dudes coming, and they're like, oh my god.
Because people know protection in numbers. They won't kill me. Let's run with the fish.
Yeah, right. It's like a school of fish over there. Crazy. Hamza, I think it would be cool to have that many people in a server, but I don't know. That might be a little bit much. I'd rather see a battle royale on Battlefield with 100 people.
Yes, please. Dice, please.
Yeah. I think DICE can pull off battle royale better than some of these indie devs are doing.
Yeah. Okay.
Loved Mag. You got some Mag hype in the chat. Definitely need a super PC for that. I don't know, Bloodhound. I think internet's also getting much better. I mean, most of us now have at least 100 down. And some of us even have gigabit Ethernet. And that's really what's the key here. You can't really have 100 players connecting, you know, with 5 down. You know, it's a bit crazy. And like 1 up, you know, that's just not going to happen. There's some people who still have like 1 or 5 up, man. It's crazy. We have another question by Petrified Sanity. Says, crew, have any of you experienced the glitch at the start of a round where you spawn as cavalry, you get the tank or a pilot? Happens to me every time I try. Oh, I know exactly what map you spawned on. You know which map that does that? It's the second map in Monte Grappa Operation. What is it called, guys? The one with the fort at the end.
You talking about Kingdom?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Empire's Edge. There we go.
Empire's Edge. Yeah.
Yes. So when you do that, there's like 2 horses. I'm only, you know, going from operations because that's what happens in operations. If you're the first one to spawn in with the horse, the second guy spawns in a tanker pilot and he's on a horse. I see that all the time. Every time I play that map. Always some poor sucker. Yeah, it's in the game. It's weird. You spawn in and you think you get in a plane, all of a sudden you're on a horseback and you're like, what? Yeah, Bloodhound's Empire's Edge. They're telling us, Almighty Ben saying, forget Mag, think PlanetSide 2. Did you try PlanetSide 2?
I wasn't a fan.
Laggier.
People are too spongy in that game.
It came out.
It's one of those where you have to shoot them a gazillion times before they die.
So like, what was that game? Not Destiny.
Division.
The Division.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen people in the Division just eat bullets. Nothing ever happened to them.
That game.
Or the riderless horse carrying the invisible guy. I've never seen that.
I got it on my YouTube video. I was on a horse, but the horse was by itself. I was invisible.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. They couldn't see me. I was running around with just the horse was running.
Dude, that's ridiculous. I want to see this YouTube video. It's on YouTube?
Yeah.
I gotta check this out.
Yeah, it's funny.
I'm sorry, Send It gave us a question, but if you guys are asking us a question, make sure you put the @crew or @somebody so I know it's a question straight for us. So we got another question. Says, hey fellas, thanks for the podcast. This is for the crew. Does anyone feel like the match balancing has gotten worse since Premium Trials? Well, Premium Trials is over now, right?
Right. No, Premium Friends is still going on. It's Battlefield. It's Premium Trials that is no longer going on.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people trying out Premium, guys. Like I would go into TSNP, like I don't know, maybe Operations and the Devil's Anvil or something like that, and I looked at the scoreboard and literally there were like 6 people per team that were Premium players, and everybody else was non-Premium. It was pretty interesting.
I did hear that Battlefield 1 is on sale right now for $24, something like that. Somebody came and bought it yesterday. Wow, what a deal. I'm buying it.
That's a no-brainer. I mean, the game has plenty of content and great enough community where that's a steal.
Yeah, it was like 20 some bucks. Wow. Yeah, he bought it, so that was a good deal.
But I mean, I don't think matchmaking has been bad for me. I play a lot of operations and sometimes frontlines, and frontlines is a tough mode with a lot of players with good skill.
Yeah, but I find games on Frontlines are usually one-sided more than the other styles. Like Operations and Conquest, I find tighter games than I do on Frontline. When you can find a team that is good against another good team on Frontline, you gotta. That's a really good game.
Yeah.
They're harder to find.
We have another question. It is by Raw0414. Crew, sometimes when I'm trying to jump through a window, my player crouches down. Wish they fixed that. Gotten killed.
Ooh, yeah.
Yo, that happens to me all the time.
I go to jump over a wall and it lays down. I'm like, I need to get up, and then I get shot in the back. It's like, oh.
Yep.
Right.
My blood pressure starts to raise.
I hate that, and it's not even just like Mambo said. It's not even just a window. It also does it like on fences, on walls. He'll like duck down. He lays down, and then he gets up instead of.
And he lays right back down again. I'm having him lay down like.
It's like you're doing the worm.
Like, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wonder what people are looking at you like what's this man doing? And you're like trying to jump
Whoop.
over this thing.
I've noticed that it'll do that if you get like your head is underneath a staircase or something like that. Like there's something over your character and it keeps laying them down. It seems like your body has got into the wall or something like that. If you turn your character and stand up, you can stand up. I don't know why that is.
It might be some problem with some clipping or something.
That should have been in my
It probably
comments.
has to do with that.
Things that need to fix Battlefield, right?
The models are probably conflicting with each other.
See, it takes the chat to bring it up to remember it. Yeah.
Yeah, but that happens a lot, Raw. Like, it happens to me every day that I play. And every day, I'm like, come on, I'm pressing X to jump. Bizarre. We have a question from Craig. Says, crew, on a scale of 1 to 10, how high is Izzy? He's a little drugged up right now.
A little bit. Maybe a
Percocet.
5.
Happens to me too. It's maddening. VW, I bet you it happens to everybody. Sometimes climbing over walls takes too long. I don't know. I didn't feel like it takes too long. It's something.
Yeah, I don't think it takes too long. It's
I
pretty
think-
quick. I mean, climbing over a wall isn't easy if you're, holding guns and stuff.
I think the animation is just fine. I think if you're gonna shorten animations, you should shorten some melee animations before anything else.
I'd agree with that. Nothing's worse than like going in for the animation and you're halfway through and then someone spawns on him and shoots you.
Yeah, I know. Rip Izzy's mouth. We got another question. Sadie80 says, crew, what is your bet for the next Battlefield? We're placing bets, boys. Placing bets.
Bad Company 3.
What era though? Bad Company 3.
Modern.
Modern?
Yeah.
Like
Modern.
Desert Storm modern?
I mean, just like Bad Company 2 and 1 were. They were they're just modern.
Just modern.
Today's day and age, there was nothing futuristic about those games.
Mm.
Was there?
No.
No, yeah. And in fact, they were kind of old. Because the UAV was like a little helicopter.
Oh, yeah, it was like
nowadays you have drones,
Yeah. I guess the game's starting to show its age.
Wow, yeah, true, right? Like, that was before actual UAVs were like
In drones and stuff.
droning. Mambo,
What do
you
you got?
place your bet. I guess.
I think knowing EA and how they like to try to go big or go home, I think they're going to go with the golden FPS of all time, and that's Vietnam. Battlefield Bad Company 3, they touched it with a DLC. I think they'll make the entire game Vietnam.
I don't
That's
know. I think when I think of EA and in decision making, I think they make safe decisions. They're a big company, lots of risk comes into making these games. They want to see a profit. That's just how things are, right? So I think EA would be pretty safe. I think they would just want a BF5. But DICE, they're the risk takers. I mean, look at World War One. That's ridiculous. I would never thought that. So, man, placing bets. This is a hard one, man. I want to be safe too, and I'm gonna say Battlefield 5. Just gonna be safe.
That's a good bet.
I would think that would happen before Bad Company 3 or Vietnam. Don't know. What are we talking about, Sharpshooter? We're taking questions from the audience. We got Crew from Bloodhound. Bloodhound wants to know, for Battlefield 2018, would you guys like to see gunplay return to BF4 style or keep BF1's gunplay? Hope I did this right this time.
4.
I'd say 4. I like the variety that this game brought, but let's go back to 4. Mambo. He's gonna say 3.
Well, I'm just reading this tweet from Battlefield that retweet if you want to see Battlefield 2018 set in Vietnam era.
Wait. There's a
what?
Yeah, right now. So
Wait,
they just
hold
sent
on.
it out.
Let's all go on Twitter.
hold up.
Hold on. Let's see this.
2 hours ago. Lala
Let's see
retweeted
this.
it. So.
What?
Yep.
They just tweeted that? Hold on. Stay close to news and
Yep.
announcement at Gamescom.
On Battlefield 1's. I'm just reading what's on their official tweet.
Wait a minute. Where is this tweet?
Yeah, I don't see it, dude.
Can you link it?
I called it. I'm calling it, baby.
Where?
You got us on this Easter egg hunt now. Where is this tweet?
So if you're
say
listening to
anything
the
about that.
podcast right now, you probably already heard the news.
Wait, enter the war's biggest front. I don't see it here.
I don't see it, man.
Yeah,
Mambo.
I'll retweet it.
No,
But-
all right. Shameless plug. Imagine everyone has to go to Mambo's Twitter now.
There you go. Troll.
Let me see. Mambo's Twitter. It's Mambo_BEE for you guys watching. Mambo B.
On
Retweet
Twitter.
If you want to see. That's Battlefield 1 XP, right? That's like a different
Someone's
kind of.
trolling.
No. I think it's not official Battlefield.
That's not an official Battlefield site.
Battlefield 1.
That's a fan
No,
site.
that's a fan-made account.
There you go.
Mambo.
Well, you just gave him a retweet.
That is not the official Battlefield Twitter.
Dude, but that's crazy.
I heard
that
that
we're just
Echo was
talking
trolling
about that.
his own stream, so I trolled the whole
You
podcast.
just trolled the podcast? Oh my god.
You're dead to me.
Debunked. Almighty Ben, debunked. Yeah. I think we have time to take at least one more question, guys, from the chat. So let's see what we have. We have a Tattlegus says, "Cool, do you think Hardline 2 would ever be a thing?"
No, definitely not.
Yes.
Just
No.
bring blood money to the next Battlefield, and we're good.
Visceral, I don't think they want to make another Hardline after the crap they got for the first one. And DICE isn't going to do that. So, no. I doubt we'll ever see Hardline 2. I'd be willing to put money on that one.
Ooh. Willing to put your scraps on the line?
All of them.
No, I think Izzy's right, guys. I'm sorry for you Hardline fans, but I think Izzy's right. Damn it, Izzy. Why?
Sorry.
Well,
Why
that was
must
almost
you
a
be
curse
so
word out of Echo
knowledgeable?
right there, guys. That was close.
Yeah, I don't think Hardline is gonna make a comeback.
Nah.
Did it sell well?
No.
I'd
Really?
rather see Medal of Honor than I would Hardline.
It didn't sell well. It didn't perform well. Community, massive backlash. Didn't perform well on YouTube or Twitch, and it died quickly.
Yeah, it did die.
It was, I think, the worst performing Battlefield game ever.
Wow.
Of like the newer era of games.
Yeah, because I know Battlefield in the past has not been the greatest selling game when compared to like Call of Duty, if you're gonna make a comparison FPS shooter on console.
Yeah.
Or I mean, it was back then it was on PC.
But in terms
wow.
of Battlefield, it was the one that will go down in the history as like the worst. Whether you liked it or not, that's how it's going to be perceived by a lot of the community.
Tad, I'm sorry to tell you, but Hardline, which was worse, Hardline or Battlefront?
Which one flopped more?
Hardline flopped, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen these figures, but listening to Izzy, I'm guessing. I mean, people love Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars sold really, really well.
Yeah, and even people who don't really care so much about FPS games, they'll go ahead and play that game just because it's the best looking, best sounding Star Wars game ever made. And now that the second one's gonna have a single player, I can't even imagine how many people are gonna buy that game.
And free DLC.
But not even that, Mambo. I can't even imagine how many people are gonna buy Star Wars Battlefront 2 and never even touch multiplayer. They'll just buy it for the single player, so for the story and like the way it looks so great and everything else.
Yeah, because you're now the protagonist of the dark side. That's very unique.
You have an original story, never told before. I mean, Star Wars fans are gonna go crazy.
Well, if you think about it, we used to get a bunch of Star Wars games like back in the day, on the PlayStation 2 and Xbox and even the PlayStation 1. There was a ton of Star Wars games. There was a couple every year. But recently, there's been nothing.
Because the movies.
Yeah.
Who's getting Star Wars Battlefront 2 in the chat?
Disney's smart, man. Disney's like, we're not going to throw games out there if we don't got the movies to back them up.
Yeah.
And now they do. They're pumping out movies. They're even pumping out extra storylines like Rogue One. I mean, Disney knows what they're doing. All right, final question of the day. We'll take one from Raw0414 again.
Oh no.
What does he have? Crew, as long as they don't bring jetpacks to Battlefield, we'll all be all right. I think it wasn't a question. He just wants to tell us. All right, fair enough.
Jetpacks are cool.
It's a little bit of a shorter podcast for you guys. We are missing Flag. But, I mean, I enjoyed it, and hopefully you guys did too. So we're going to go around, tell you guys the sign-offs before I give the final sign-off for the podcast itself. Izzy, hit them. Where can they find you when you are not streaming the podcast?
Guys, as always, it's been nice. If you want to check out my YouTube channel, it's youtube.com/IzzyGoneCrazy. Thanks for watching.
Awesome. Mambo.
If I'm not streaming or on the podcast, you guys can find me on Twitter, Mambo _BEE. You can find me on Twitter, and always you can find me on Twitch as well, Mambo _B.
Awesome. And my name is Eric. I go by Ecolimits, EKOLIMITS, on twitch.tv. You can find me basically everywhere there, Twitter as well, if you search Ecolimits. And this was episode 15. Thank you all for tuning in, giving your opinions, making this community better than it is every single time that we podcast it with you guys. It's an amazing experience. I want to thank my friends here who joined in, and want to wish you guys some happy 2 weeks of your summer vacation. You know, summer's about to be over, guys.
Let's not talk about it.
Yeah, so make sure you're enjoying it. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time, and there's been a lot of Russian DLC news, and I'm sure we'll get even more. Thanks for watching. Do I need to do any other sign-offs?
Flakfire Gaming. Flakfire usually is with us.
Right, Flakfire is not here today. Of course, you guys could check him out on YouTube /Flakfire Gaming, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you can find the recording of this podcast, or on iTunes, whichever one you prefer. That being said, we'll be back in 2 weeks, and this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching, guys. Thumbs up. Have a great time, and 2 weeks. We'll see you.